We are live. Hey guys, my name is Leejay,
And I'm Melissa.
and welcome back to our daily live now
Yes.
from this 90-day challenge. But it's starting to become a habit.
Yes. Yeah, it's
Um,
getting easier every day.
it's getting easier
Yeah.
every day.
We are on our day 13 now.
Day number 13, you guys. Oh my gosh, this is incredible because
Hmm.
we're almost half a month,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And time this is one of the things to measure time, and it's scary because it's fast,
Yeah.
right?
It went by so fast.
Yeah.
It
And
felt like we just started, but it's already been 13 days have passed. So,
mhm, mhm. So today is very busy, right? I did a bunch of
yes, you did a
activities,
lot.
right? I did a lot today.
yeah.
Cleaned the house to taking the kids swimming,
Yes.
and laundry, you
Yes.
name it, right?
And
So
by the house, it's like three bedrooms, two washrooms, full washrooms,
two full
two full
washrooms,
washrooms, and a laundry room
a living room.
and a living room,
Yeah.
right? And the laundry room, guys, if you've seen the laundry room before, it was so messy. But when you look at it now, it's everything is all organized, and I'm
Hmm.
so happy.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like people tell me like, why didn't you just hire a maid, right, or a cleaner, or any of that? In fact, when I first got started in business, that's one of my first business, right, was a cleaning business, and part of me, and I think I've read this somewhere or I watched a video about it. One of the uh, habits of Japanese billionaires, right? Like, very
yes,
wealthy Japanese people, is actually cleaning, and
yes,
specifically their toilet,
toilets.
cleaning their
Yeah,
toilets, their own toilets. And I think that really just grounds you and humbles you, right?
yeah,
To be able to do that. And I'm perfectly fine with that, right?
yes.
And to
And if
clean.
you've seen our washroom now, it's like so shiny. You can't see a fingerprint
Yeah, there's no
on the
fingerprint, there's no
mirrors,
splash, nothing.
on the bathtub, on the floors.
Yeah, that's what I did. I
it
cleaned all
yeah,
those. Yeah.
it's a lot of work
Hmm.
because I don't think I can do all that.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
top of being a single dad
Nice.
for today, because the whole day I was
Away.
with
Yeah.
clients, right? So I'm in the office, but Leejay is home with the kids.
Hmm.
So we have three kids: a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
Hmm.
So before he cleaned up the house, they went to go in the Genesis Center, and
Swimming.
he took the kids swimming. And can you imagine being alone, one a parent with the three kids doing
Hmm.
all that? That's just
I know. I
amazing.
know. I know.
You're
I know. I manage it like a business, you guys. There is a
yes.
system, right? There's a system on how I do things, and even for laundries, right? There's a system. I was asking Mel to actually put away some laundry, just on a
Yeah.
load,
Yeah.
and she's been hanging things around, and I'm like, nope, that has, you
There's
can't
a
go that way. There's a
system.
system, right?
Yeah.
So, enough of that. If you are, new here, thanks a lot for tuning in. And for those of you who has been following us for quite some time, welcome back on this live session. If you're catching us on a replay as well,
Yes.
drop a comment below where you're watching it from.
Yeah.
So yeah, today is day number 13, and the um, the topic today is quite interesting because we are talking about a
A
success.
business success stories,
That's right, a business
right?
success story. Um, and and this particular success story is actually a real person, right?
Yes.
Mel's gonna pick her own pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna pick my own. a story that actually inspired us, to continue, right, in this business. Not only to get started, because to get started is different from continuing.
Yeah.
Like we can have we can have um, our interest, or we can get pumped up, right, to get started.
Yeah.
um, and it could be a momentum coming from an inspiration from a video, or maybe the person that approached you talked to you about it, and therefore you get inspired from it, right? And
Hmm.
that is enough for you to start the business. But in many many cases, there is a thing called continuation of your business. And
Yes.
that part um, can be tough, right? It doesn't it's not easy to come by in terms of an inspiration. But there's a ton of different inspiring stories within our community that really just triggers you, right, as an
Yes.
individual. Thinking that if that person can do it, right, why can't I? Right? That
Yes.
type of mentality, right?
Yes.
Um, so I'm gonna get started. Do you want to get started first,
Yeah,
or
go ahead. I'm listening.
you're listening?
Give me
Okay.
some ideas.
Um, Okay, so the one of the biggest reason why we started this 4 years ago is the idea of of automation, right?
Yes.
And early on in my career, you know, I have this particular idea of MSI, and I've
Hmm.
actually learned this from Bob Proctor.
Yeah.
Bob Proctor is a business philosopher, based he's Canadian from Toronto, but he moved to US, right? And he is one of the um, teachers at the movie The Secret. And Bob Proctor at that time, I was listening to one of his um, uh, personal development speeches, and he mentioned about MSI.
Hmm.
MSI stands for multiple sources of income, and
Okay.
he said that in order for you to truly be wealthy, financially, there has to be a way for you to create multiple sources of income.
Hmm.
And um, and I got curious, right? So from that moment on, I think it was in 2016, probably, right, 2016,
Hmm.
2015. That's where I got obsessed of MSI, right?
Hmm.
um, I was so obsessed to the point that I've tried every single business out there,
Yeah.
from network marketing to insurance business to traditional businesses,
Yes.
buying and selling to drop shipping.
Yeah.
There's so many businesses that I've tried because I really wanted to start this MSI.
Hmm.
In fact, one of the reasons why I went to business is because of this reason. I wanted to have multiple sources in different direction. Because at the end of the day, if you are employed and if you are relying in that one single stream of income, and if that stream of income got cut off, right, that is a problem, right? And I didn't want to be in that position in my life because I did have that position. My parents were in that position in the past. And I said to myself, I didn't want to be in that position. And that's why I got obsessed of looking for an opportunity, a
Yeah.
business that I can build. So why am I saying this backstory? I'm saying this because, in order for you to move forward or to continue what you're doing, you really
Hmm.
need to be pump up, right? And that pump, that inspiration fades away. So fast forward now that we're in the business, I'm actually starting it. Mel was actually, um, you know, skeptical right at that time,
Yes.
and she didn't really want to do anything about this business. She was doing
Yeah.
a
A totally
completely,
some different
different business. I believe she was
in an online course
online
creation.
course creation, yeah.
Yes.
And I was in this online business, and I'm trying to figure this out. I was trying to get YouTube going on. I had so many things, right?
Yeah.
That's coming in, ideas that are flowing, right? In
Yeah.
order to make it online. And so, with all of this distraction, it's really easy to veer away from the system that we're building, especially the Leejay and Melissa brand.
Yeah.
At that time, it was Leejay Dumo Marketing. But the Leejay and
Yeah.
Melissa brand was really, there's really no direction in that,
Yeah.
because I was trying so many things, so many different things, to make it work. But in the end, there's this particular couple, right, that I admire, and and I noticed that, um, and I went through the I knew this couple personally, right, and when they were in the business, I wasn't aware the magnitude of influence that they already have building this business. In
Mhm.
fact, I believe they started in 2017, right?
Yeah.
When we were all, I actually worked with them. I knocked doors with them. I
Mhm.
I didn't get that. Okay, Siri
Huh?
just got
Sorry.
triggered. Hang on.
I think I triggered Siri.
I don't know what that means. If
Okay,
you like.
Siri.
Okay, I
Okay,
think
yeah, she's done.
okay, she's on. So I was saying that, when I first got started, there is a couple in our church community that actually inspired me to go into this. Right, they're older generation. I can really see the spark in their eyes in terms of how they believe that this system will actually help them out.
Yeah.
That those couple invited me in their house. Right, they showed me what the system looks like, what the actual service is, right,
Yeah.
and how this particular online business is made
Yeah.
from scratch. And I was so inspired by them, right? And so that's why I decided to join the business.
Mhm.
The typical way of actually joining this business is when you see somebody on an ad, right?
Yes.
And when you are inspired that particular ad, you go through the process, right? So you watch the
Yes.
information session, you
Mhm.
watch all the things that you needed to know in order to make a sound decision to
Yeah.
join, right? Or to start
Yes.
your business. It
Yes.
didn't happen that way for me, right? So
Yes.
prior to joining the business, I already have a ton of experience of different things, right? Of different
Yes.
businesses.
Mhm.
And so that gets all mixed up in my head.
Mhm.
So, there's this, ego thing that's going on, saying that, you know what, I could probably do it faster and better, and, all these things.
Yes.
Um, but that's the old VJ. That's the person that actually made that mistake, right?
Yeah.
um, and so, I went to a series of, like, should I continue, should I not continue, until I was half, my one of my foot is halfway in, so meaning,
Mhm.
I was doing it a little bit, but
Yeah.
not really completely,
Yes.
100%. But with just half the effort, there was a ton of results. And
Yes.
from that results, that's where Mel actually got convinced to join the
Yeah.
business, from those little results, right?
Mhm.
And when the results came, right, they came in what you call this,
Um.
in um, in waves, right?
Yeah.
So they come in waves, right?
Okay.
And 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 it's interesting because this system that I've been building, 2 years or a year and a half prior to Mel joining, right? I
Mhm.
wasn't really thinking of it going anywhere, because obviously
Yeah.
I
He
turned my
was just
back, right?
enjoying
I
it.
was
Yeah.
enjoying it. I turned
Yeah.
my back from the system, from the training. I
Yeah.
just want to do whatever I want to do with it, right?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
didn't work. It didn't really work, right? It worked halfway, but there's not a lot of successful results from it, right? Especially for myself, I have a ton of different successes in other business, right? So,
Mhm.
part of me being a consultant, right? I and owning other businesses, I'm able to support our lifestyle with those kind of, with different income, right?
Mhm.
So every journey is different, and um, the way I want to express the particular story of this couple that inspired me
Mhm.
to continue is that I've known them, right? And I've seen them grow from and you know, when you join our community, you can you would know um, their story as well.
Yeah.
But what really inspired me the most is that um, you know, despite of the challenges that they have in their lives, right? I mean, this couple
Mhm.
got um, evicted, right, out of their place.
Mhm.
They were property managers or some
Yeah.
sort of a you know a particular complex,
Yeah.
and you know, and they were at the lowest point of their lives when they started this business, right? And they
Yeah.
really didn't have much option, right, but to continue this business. They've
Mhm.
invested their time, they've invested their money, right? They
Mhm.
really want to make it work.
Yeah.
And and you know, it's not the fastest, right? Because I've seen people that go from 0 to 6 figures in 6 months, right? But for
Yeah.
them, it was gradual.
Mhm.
It was not the fastest, but it was gradual, meaning and consistent, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I didn't have when I started this business, is consistency. I didn't have the consistent value giving like what we're doing right now. I
Mhm.
didn't have the proper habits, right?
Mhm.
The right mindset to actually get into this.
Yes.
Um, and therefore, when I decided to actually um, get engaged again and you know and continue, I've watched all the
Mhm.
masterminds, right?
Yeah.
And many of these masterminds are actually hosted by this couple. And sorry, let me rephrase that. Many of the useful masterminds that actually sparked me is hosted by this
Hosted by
couple.
this couple.
So of course, there's different hosts of this particular mastermind, but
Yeah.
when they get into this mastermind, there's this
Like
special connection that I
connection.
have with them that
Yes.
sparks me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like this, they're actually doing it. um Fast forward with all the successes that they have in the business, and I've also have successes somewhere else, and therefore I never really had the opportunity to focus on this particular business. um
Yes.
but lately everything changed, right? When I recently saw them literally writing off their mortgage, like meaning paying it off completely in full,
Yes.
right? The story was they paid off in the first 16 months of their business, they paid off over $80,000 worth of consumer debt. They're
Mhm.
able to retire their parents. They're able
Yes.
to, give back to the community, to their,
Mhm.
to the uh,
The
church
church.
community, right?
Mhm.
So whatever their dreams are that are so big, right? We're also our dreams, right? So
Yes.
we're very similar in a way that we're both Filipinos. We both came
Yeah.
or went through a particular business opportunity in the past, and we have so much in common, right?
Yes.
And then to see that succeed in this business, it's like telling me that I really need to focus, I really need to give time on this business.
Yeah.
And you know for them to be able to pay off an entire mortgage, and possibly donated a big chunk of their income, right, to the
Mhm.
charities that they love. That's exactly what we want. Mel and I would love to do that, right?
Yes.
um, I'd love to actually help out, but sometimes there are consequences in our actions that we just have to do it. We just have to live with those consequences, right?
Yeah.
um, the story here is that the moral of the story really is there are challenges, and there are going to be
Mhm.
shiny objects, and to be able to continue to this business, you really just need to plug in and listen to those stories, right? Listen to the success stories of others.
Mhm.
um, I've said this before in the past, where you don't really need to experience the
Yeah.
the same mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just need to learn from it, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, well, that's a beautiful success story. You mentioned two couples, right?
Two
No,
couples, yeah.
two completely different couples.
Hmm.
So one couple are the
The one that has
the
sparked me,
ones that sparked
yeah,
you, who that made you join the
right.
business,
Hmm.
and there's the other couple that made you continue on with the
That's
business,
right.
right?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah. I guess that is really inspiring because
Hmm.
there's a big difference in starting something and continuing with something,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I love that.
Okay.
Well, my turn. You talked for about 20 minutes there.
So you'll do
Mine
about
is
half an
just gonna
hour.
be short and sweet.
Mhm.
Well, yes, as Leejay had mentioned, I joined in after a few months, a year, almost a
About
year, right?
a year and a
About
half,
a year, 1 year,
a year and a
1 year.
quarter.
I joined in after about a year when he's already doing the business,
Mhm.
and I was skeptical at that time, right? Because I didn't know it was an online business. I don't know how true everything is
Mhm.
in this kind of business. I haven't done an online business type platform that is in a different it's like a system, right? But the ones that I was doing at that time is an online course creation, and I was already building an online platform.
Mhm.
And then what I've noticed is that what really got me in is the system, because when I was doing the online course creation, I had to build everything up from
From the scratch.
scratch. I had to build my website. I have to build my own product, which is the course itself, and I have to shoot everything to actually create the contents. I have to write up all the email marketing. I have to set everything up from scratch. And on top of that, I've already paid the investment that I needed to pay in
Hmm.
order to start that online course creation. And so, and on top of all the investment I made, I had to pay the monthly fees for all the online platforms I have to use in order
Hmm.
to continue on with the business. And so that made me think about what Leejay is doing. Because when I wasn't doing the business, Leejay um, wasn't paying anything else at all after.
Hmm.
um it made me think na that let me see what this business is, what Leejay is doing, what is this online business is. And then at that time I was already part of the group of a private group
Hmm.
community. And at that time, it was just, I think, probably 50,000
Yeah.
members in the community.
Hmm.
But now it's over 200,000.
Hmm.
At that time, I was following this person because I was really inspired by her story. She's a single mom of four girls, and she works as a sales lady in a jewelry store.
Hmm.
And you know um we all know how hard it is to be a single mom, because even as a parent,
Hmm.
two parents taking care of kids, like it's already hard. Like what more would a single mom um how hard would it be if a single mom were to do it all by herself?
Hmm.
And so it made me realize, you know um and and she was sharing all her stories
Hmm.
online, and I got curious. I started following her stories. So I followed her social media accounts. I watched her lives. I watched her talk, and I realized that she's actually a real person. And I
She's
have
legit.
I have to look at all these people in
Mhm.
the private community group, and I have to watch. I have to know that they are real, because it's online, right? It's
Mhm.
global and it's online, and who knows who we were gonna meet. But the people that are in the community group are real people, and so it got me even curious, right? I started digging more on the system.
Mhm.
I studied it. I did my own research, and because I was really curious. And so when I found out that it's actually legitimate, it's something that you could actually make a fortune on. And I told Leejay, I'm gonna help you with this business, but when I help you with this business, I have to have my name on the brand. Because at that time he was using a Leejay Dumo marketing brand.
Yeah.
And I told him, well, if I'm gonna join the business, I might have to do some live videos, maybe post some pictures,
Mhm.
and they're not gonna know who I am. So maybe we should put a Leejay and Melissa brand. So
Right.
now we are here. There are some people. There is At that time, the reason why I was into business is I was working on a I was working full time on a job that I was doing for in a diagnostic facility. And I was leaving the kids in daycare, and it was a lot of hassle for us to do all that. When DJ goes to his full-time job, I go to my full-time job, and we leave the kids in daycare. And at that time, the kids, our eldest, were just 4 years old and 2 years old.
Mhm.
And and we know how hard it is to raise kids like that. And at the end of the night, when we pick up the kids from the daycare, we're pretty exhausted, you know, and the only thing that we're gonna do is pretty much rest. And then the next day it repeats
Eat
again.
and sleep.
Yeah, eat and sleep, and then the next day it repeats. We go to our work, drop off the kids to daycare. Like it's just uh it's a lot of stress. Right?
Stuff.
And so I know that I need to do something as an extra
Mhm.
source of revenue for us, right, to provide for our family. And so I look into something online, because I want to do something online where I
Mhm.
could just use my laptop and use my Wi-Fi and be able to do the work online, right? And so when Leejay found the system, I dig deep into it, and I found there was another woman that really inspired me. And her story was, when she started the business, because she has a son with a disability, and that would require for her to take care of her son full time at home. And so she can't work, she can't have a job full time, and she can't leave her son in the daycare. And so she was at home full time, and she said she needs to do something that she could do to provide for her family, while she takes care of her son who has the disability. And after a few years, when I saw her progress, she really, um, she was earning like six figures a year.
Mhm.
And for me, like, I like, even five figures a year is all okay for me, just to cover that, my salary for my full-time job. um if I could do that in an online business like this, I would love it. I would continue working. And we're so happy with this business, because even though we are not, in the past few months, we haven't been even um working so much. I mean, we
On this, yeah.
as what Leejay said,
Mhm.
we Leejay's have foot. What did you say? It was, your foot
half in.
half in, your foot is half in. And mine is the same because I went to studies too. I went to study accounting, because I want to do something on the business as well, because I want to learn how to manage money.
Mhm.
And so I was also half in the online business because I was doing something else, and studying, and I also have the taxes that I'm
Mhm.
doing right now. But this online business kept providing for us. Like in a few weeks from now, we're going to be receiving a big check. A big check from this online business. And it's just amazing because even though we're not expecting anything, it
Mhm.
just comes like
It's an
there, like
automated, yeah.
it it comes in times when you least expect it.
That's right.
And it just happens so fast. Everything happens so fast. All of a sudden we're expecting a big check next week.
Mhm.
And that's the power of the online business, I guess.
It is. That's the power of it.
Yeah.
And to really put this into perspective and to run everything home, right? To summarize everything, we I can probably give you hundreds of different success stories. In fact,
Mhm.
every week on our mastermind, there is a spotlight of entrepreneurs, um, of a success story of
Mhm.
of those people. And recently I was listening to a mom that had to divorce her husband because her husband was has mental illness, right? And
Oh.
it went to a safety concern, right, for herself and her their family, right, her son as well. And and to be able to cope up with obviously lost income, things like that
Mhm.
from um,
Mhm.
from somebody's calling,
Yeah.
uh, from the other party, from the husband.
Mhm.
He needed to somebody, he needed to they needed to she needed to find a way in order to supplement that income, right? And
Yes.
again, that's another success story of finding this particular platform to
Mhm.
supplement that income. There's
Yeah.
also a story about husband and wife, right,
Yeah.
that were struggling because of all the lifestyle that they have. And so they couldn't support, so the husband has to go do door dashing and
Yeah.
part-time jobs and all these things in order to support the income. And
Mhm.
uh, and and the
Mhm.
wife is actually terminally ill, um, and had cancer, right? And so wife couldn't work, and so the husband has to do majority of the lifting. um, and because of this online business, they're able to at least live a comfortable life, just before the wife passed, right? And
Mhm.
when the wife passed, she passed knowing that they are in good hands, right? Meaning they are financially stable, the kids are financially stable. Oh, sorry, the family is financially stable to actually do
Mhm.
that. And that gives some sort of consolation, right? No matter how you look at it, if you're leaving a legacy for your kids, for your family,
Mhm.
that's something very inspiring. That actually triggers me, saying that what, these are the things that I really wanted to do from the very beginning.
Mhm.
And and here I am trying to reinvent the wheel, right?
Mhm.
The other thing to note is that um, the online business, really, there's a ton of different online business out there, right? In fact, there's another one that's trying to recruit me on a possibly a multi-level marketing trading thing, right? And I will probably look at that again and be enticed to that, right? But the fact that no matter how I derail myself, right? I seem to always come back to this particular platform,
Yes. Yeah.
because the platform is so effective, right?
Yeah.
That whatever part of journey you are,
Mm-hmm.
even if you are a successful professional, you're an engineer, you are a business owner in the past, and you're already making good amount of income, and you wanted to get started with this business, you can do that as well, as a supplement, or as I call it a back pocket money, right? um, and that's possible, right? That's possible for you, as long as you're still willing to learn, as long as you're willing to be coached, right? um,
Mm-hmm.
and those things are in this business. And if you are looking for that, if you are looking for a platform, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, you don't need to suffer other people's suffering, just to prove a point, right? You don't need that. You just need to ride on to a particular platform that's already made, for people that are looking for this kind of stuff, right? So the best way to get started on this, is to um, you know uh, check out our website, right? Get that
Yes.
information, and or reach out
Or
to
reach
us,
out to
right?
us.
And have a quick
Mm-hmm.
conversation. What is it
Yes.
really, right? Like,
Yeah.
Leejay, do I need to spend money on this? Of course, right? This is an investment, right? um, if you're not sure to come in, if you're not sure, just go watch our some of our live sessions, right? We talk about this
Yeah.
business all
Yeah.
the time, right? We talk about the basics of this business. We talk about how to get started, how to do all these things, right? uh, I do a lot of training in my past jobs, for people, and and I always tell people that I will always give you all the tools, right? Even now, I do consultation, right, for
Mm-hmm.
people, and I always tell them that I will give you the tools, the knowledge, the technology, everything you possibly need in order for you to be successful,
Mm-hmm.
right? But in reality, right, are you going to use it? It's up to you if you're going to use these tools or not, right? And it's the same thing with this
Mm-hmm.
online business. We have the
Mm-hmm.
platform, we have a solution. Mel was just
Yes.
telling me about the horror stories that she
Yeah.
she goes through or she listens to,
Yeah.
and there's a ton of horror stories out there, and she wanted to tell them that there's a solution, right? There's
Yes.
a solution to your problem. There's a solution to
Yeah.
your problem. But it's not enough to just tell them that, right?
Yes.
Because obviously people are skeptical, right? She
Yes.
herself is skeptical on this
Mm-hmm.
business, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it, guys. We're going to have a nice dinner tonight, with family.
Yeah.
um, but you know take it from us in terms of our experience, right? We are real people. You can talk to
Mm-hmm.
us.
Yes.
You can reach out to us if you are considering this. And what type of business is it? It's I will leave that for you to know, right?
Yes.
um, and
Yeah.
we wanted committed people. I don't want people that are kicking tires. If that's you, then that's perfectly fine. I'll tell you what it is, right? You don't need to
Mm-hmm.
waste your time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or my time, right? I value your time,
Yeah.
and I value our time.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, um, it is the opportunity is given to many, right? But few takes action, and few actually makes it, right? That's just the reality of the, of whatever, right?
Yes.
um, there is a reason why 80% of college students drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
um, or especially the first two years of their university, because
Yes.
that's the statistics, you guys. That's the statistics, okay? So I'm not saying that everybody can be rich or can be financially free in a period of a few months or a few years on this. It's not for everybody, right? Not everybody would make it, right? But everybody has that opportunity. Everybody will have that shot. Okay. Those
Mm-hmm.
people that I mentioned earlier that paid their mortgages that paid off their debts and have a ton of savings and very very successful financially.
Mm-hmm.
Those people also went through the same process from the beginning, learning the skills, learning the system, right? Going through training, emptying their cup in order for them to learn more.
Yes.
So they went through that. They also
Yes.
went through psychological um, challenges in terms of, do they, want to go through with it. They went through capital investment challenges,
Yeah.
right? They don't have money to start a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
They went through that, right? In fact, many of them lived on their credit cards, while they were building the business. But it's fine. It's totally fine. It's part of the process, right? So hopefully this gives you value. Thanks a lot for watching. You want to add more?
No. It just feels like you have that father father figure. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just because I seen a lot in terms of people that I talk to,
Mm-hmm.
possibly because of my career, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But mostly because I listen to
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
when you talk to me, I really don't want to
Yeah.
blab things
Yeah.
around. I just want to listen. I
Yeah.
want to
Just
listen to your story,
straightforward.
right?
Mhm.
So thanks a lot, guys, for
Yeah.
watching.
Thank
God bless you.
you.
God bless everybody. Take care,
Yeah.
and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.
Okay. We'll see you
Bye
tomorrow.
bye.
Bye.